Good afternoon, all. Today we are going to start the unit 10, that is about the warehousing. Till now we have covered all the 9 units. Today this unit is specially prepared for the warehousing. So in this unit we will discuss the introduction, characteristics of a warehouse, the different types of warehouse, then types of warehouse operations we will discuss, then functions of warehouse, layout planning of the warehousing, advantage of the warehousing, and cross-docking. So after completion of this chapter or unit, you are able to understand all these above points. And at last, I will discuss some of the small caselets for better understanding of this unit. So before going to this chapter, in the introduction, we can say, what is the warehousing in international logistics management? Basically, the meaning, if you can say, in international trade, warehousing is the process of storing goods safely before they are exported and imported or distributed across the borders. The importance of this warehouse is vital in the international logistics management. And if you can say the roles of the warehousing in international logistics, there are different categories of the roles. Among them, one is your buffer against the delays. What does it mean? Buffer against the delays. Basically here, warehouse helps to observe the delays or due to the customs, shippings, or documentations issues. It's sought out by this system. Second role is consolidation and distribution. In this consolidation and distribution system, we can say the goods from different suppliers are consolidated at warehouse before being shipped internationally. And after import also, the products are deconsolidated and distributed to different locations. So two role, one is buffer against delays, another is consolidation and distribution. After that, we can say there are some value-added services are there, like labeling, repackaging, quality, quality inspection, assembling, customization for different markets happen in warehouses. So these are the different value-added services in the warehouse system. Next role, we can say the customs bonded warehouse. What is that? Especially the warehouse where imported goods can be stored without paying duties until they are officially sold or moved. That means still the officially sold and moved, it is will be there in a custom bonded warehouse. Then next role is inventory management across the borders. It is another role of the warehouse or warehousing services. And in this system, it helps the companies to manage inventory closer to target markets. What are the target markets? It is very close, it works. And reducing the delivery times. Automatically, if it will focus to the target markets, the delivery time will be reduced. Another role is risk management. In this risk management, we can say warehouse protect goods from theft, damage, spoilage during long international supply chains. And after that, let us know what are the different key challenges. What are the challenges in the warehouse? We can say it in this warehousing system dealing with the different regulations in each country. It follows the different regulations. So which is a challenge? because it may not be compatible in some countries with the rules and regulation of that particular country. Another challenge is managing higher operational cost. Sometimes the operational cost due to customs, tax, foreign labor, it increases. And so due to high operational cost also it is another challenge. Last challenge is longer lead times and complex inventory tracking. It is very complex to track the inventories. We can say, and I'm giving an example, you can better understand about the warehouse. Suppose a German auto parts company, stores parts in bonded warehouses in the USA. And when American car manufacturers place orders, the parts are cleared through customs and delivered quickly without waiting the weeks for the fresh shipments. But what about the other countries? So it is also one of the bright example of the warehouse system or warehousing management. And warehouse are basically at the godowns for keeping and storing goods and providing other related services in order to keep the traders or manufacturers to preserve the goods in a scientific and systematic manner so as to maintain their original value, quality, and usefulness. Now, basically, the goods may be the raw materials. The goods may be the raw materials, any parts of the any products. It may be components, or it may be any process of the finished goods, maintenance, repairing, and operating supplies, or any other items used or sold of a firm. So what happens? Storages are the godowns for keeping and storing of the raw materials, different components, semi-finished goods, tools, maintenance, repairing and operating equipments, supplies related to the production function. These are the system of the warehouses. And the primary use of the storage occurs in relation to various production related to that particular process. So what happens? Storage warehouses may be located at any point of in a logistics system, but usually it has strong locational relationship to the production facilities. And that is these storage are generally located near the production plants, or the production facilities. Operation of the storage are all closely related to the problems of the demand supply coordination. And basically the warehouses are commonly used by the manufacturers, importers, exporters, wholesalers, customs, and governments. Each and everyone is having a different purpose to use them because each and everyone has its own aim. It has its own purpose. And government use them to keep buffer stocks and essentially commodities while manufacturer use them as a buffer between their outlets and the manufacturing units. So in this warehouse system also, let us know what are the different characteristics of warehouse. What are the different characteristics? That means what are the basic criteria to be a warehouse, to become a warehouse. One is location. You know what is location? It is basically indicating to a physical or it is a geographical location. A warehouse must be located near any railway station, highways, seaports, airports, so that goods can be easily loaded and unloaded. We cannot fix the location as we wish. There must be considered for loading and unloading purpose also. Basically, the location should be near any railway station or highways or seaports, airports, so that it can be easily solved. Another characteristic is space. If you can take the space point of view, what do you mean by space? Suppose what is the volume of that particular, any particular warehouse or in that building. So it is a building space must be enough to keep the goods safe. That means to arrange a space, we have to consider, we have to keep in our mind that this is enough to keep the goods safe mode. Another is there is a cold storage facility. Warehouse meant for preservation of perishable items must have closed cold storage facilities. You know what is the job of a cold storage? If you do not have a cold storage, so it is very difficult for you to preserve the different perishable items. So another your characteristic is cold storage facility. Next is parking space. You know it is a challenge now. The warehouse must have sufficient parking space to park the vehicles used in loading and uploading of the goods. Otherwise, how the vehicles will land? How you can do that loading and unloading of the goods? If your parking space is not sufficient, then it is very difficult to maintain that. Another is most important is security. It must have proper security arrangements to avoid the theft of goods and also to avoid the loss of goods from fire. So these are the basic characteristics already we discussed. One is your location, second is space, third is cold storage facilities, fourth is parking space, fifth is security. Understood? Have you remembered these characteristics? Now let us move on to the types of warehouse. What are the different categories or types? One is public warehouse. What do you mean by public warehouse? Public warehouse perform the warehouse services for others. Public warehouse stores goods for others. That means it receives, stores, ships, and performs other related services. And its warehousing services are sold at rates intended to result in a profit to the warehouse. Anyone can store his goods in these warehouses on payment of the rent. So it is not their own warehouse. It is meant for all. It is for others. So the name is public warehouse, you know. Second is private warehouse. Private warehouses generally run and managed by the manufacturer itself and traders to store their own goods. Basically, these warehouses are located near the manufacturing units or business centers. Another is bonded warehouses. What is that bonded warehouses? It is licensed and authorized by the custom authorities for storing the goods till import duty due on its paid and owned either by the government or the private parties. It may be government or private parties. There must be licensed. It is licensed and authorized by the customs authorities for storing the goods till the import of the due, and it is on paid basis. So three types we have discussed. One is public warehouse, another is private warehouse, third is bonded warehouse. Then another is field warehouses. What is that field warehouses? Basically, these warehouses are managed by a public warehousing agency in the premises of a factory of the firm which needs the facility for borrowing money from a bank against the certification of goods in storage or in process by an independent professional warehouseman. It is an independent professional warehouseman will manage this field warehouse, and these warehouses are managed by a public warehousing agencies, and It is next we will discuss about the cold storage. What is that cold storage? It is another type of warehouse which provides the facility to preserve the perishability of the goods against the payment of a storage charge and for the space utilized by the different parties. Next is distribution warehouses. These warehouses are generally located nearer to the market, owned or leased by the manufacturers to stock their final products for immediate supply to the market. And these distribution warehouses are also called distribution center. Sometimes this is also known as distribution center. So, how many warehouses we have discussed already? 5 to 6 warehouses we have already discussed. Another category is buffer storage warehouse. What is that? Buffer storage warehouses. These warehouses are built at the strategic location with adequate transport and communication facilities, and the goods are stored in the bulk quantities and further transmitted to the distribution warehouses. Next is export and import warehouses. Basically, these export and import warehouses are located near the ports from where international trade is undertaken. Because you know, export import basically it is a being performed, being uh, continued through port. So they provide the transit storage facilities for goods awaiting the onward movements. So these are the different warehouses we have discussed. One is your public warehouse, another is private warehouse, third is your bonded warehouse, then field warehouse, cold storage, and distribution warehouses, and buffer storage warehouses, export and import warehouses. These are the different types of warehouses. Now, let us discuss about the centralized versus decentralized warehouses. What is centralized warehouses and what is decentralized warehouses? Let us first discuss about the centralized warehouse. We can say in the centralized warehouse, the one main warehouse stores all inventory and supplies, and it will be controlled from one main warehouse. And there are different advantages of the centralized warehouse. It is very easy to manage the inventory because everything is in one place, so it is very easy to manage, and operational cost is very low automatically, and so many better control over the stock and the quality it can be possible by the help of the centralized warehouse. Then it has some disadvantages also. What are the different disadvantages? Here what happens, as it is a controlled and it is in one place, the longer delivery times for faraway customers, those customers who are from far away, the delivery time it is a little bit long. Another is disadvantage is higher shipping cost to distant location, because for distant location the shipping cost is high and risky if there is a disruption at the warehouse, because everything is in one place. If there is a disruption occurs in one particular place, so it will be affected for all, and it is a more risky. This is about the centralized warehouse. Whereas in decentralized warehouse, the multiple warehouses located in different regions. On the region basis, it has been situated or located. And here what happens? There is a faster delivery to customers because it is very close to the different regions. And reduce the transportation cost for local deliveries because it is situated in the different local spaces. So the transportation cost become reduced and the risk is very less. If one warehouse faces issues, others can manage that, others can operate that. So risk in comparison to centralized warehouse, it is little bit less. Then everything has some disadvantage. In decentralized also it has some disadvantage. Here what happens? Higher management and operational cost is there because so many warehouses are there. So it has to for maintain to for the operational point of view, the management and operational cost will be more. And there is a complex inventory tracking across the locations. Here, the risk of overstocking or understocking at different sites may happen in between. So, which is another disadvantage. So, by this way, we can say there is a difference between centralized and decentralized warehouses. What are the basic difference? In centralized warehouse, it is one main warehouse, whereas in decentralized, it is multiple warehouses there. In advantage point of view, it is easy to manage inventory, lower operational cost, and better control over stock for centralized. But for decentralized, the faster delivery, reduced transportation cost, and risk is very less. In disadvantage point of view, there is a longer delivery time, higher shipping cost, and risk if any disruption occurs. Here, the management and operational cost is high in the decentralized warehouse. And there is a complex inventory tracking across the location and risk of overstocking and understocking and different sites may happen or occurs. So this is the basic difference between centralized and decentralized warehouses. Now let us point comes to cost point of view. What is warehousing cost? Basically, the cost or warehousing cost includes one is your infrastructure development cost, working capital involvement cost, and other miscellaneous costs. There are basically three types of warehousing costs. One, namely, we can say warehousing infrastructural development cost that include the cost of procurement of space, handling and transfer cost, administrative cost, and costs incurred in direct and indirect physical facilities. Here, the cost of working capital involved in the goods stored in a warehouse as inventory. And next is the miscellaneous costs such as tax to be paid, insurance paid for covering the risk, and the risk of the product obsolescence or deterioration. These are the three warehousing costs. And this has also same or vital point of consideration in the process of warehousing also. Now we'll discuss the types of warehouse operation part. What are the types of warehousing operation? Warehouse we know, different types of warehouse we know, different centralized and decentralized we already discussed. But what are the types of warehouse operation? So basically in the raw material storage, one is your raw material storage. In this warehousing operation, one important is raw material storage. These basically warehouses located near to production units to store raw material or component used to make final product. Second is intermediate postponement, customization or sub-assembly facilities. First is raw material storage, you know. Then what another is intermediate, postponement, customization, and sub-assembly facilities. To store the products at different stages in the production line, these warehouses are used. also customize the product before final delivery to the customers. Specific packaging or labeling and special message being added in postponement and sub-assembly facilities. These are the different types of warehouse operation. Next is finished goods storage. After the raw material storage and intermediate postponement, customization or sub-assembly facilities, another types of warehouse operation is finished goods storage. The finished products ready to move in the market or to customer are stored in these warehouses on behalf of manufacturers, wholesalers, or retailers. These provide the buffer stock to meet the seasonal variations or unexpected demands. And another is consolidation centers and transit warehouses. This type of warehouse receives the products from different sources and consolidates them for delivery to customer or production line. And basically, we can say example of these warehouses are just in time centers. Here this happens. So, in another is your transshipment or break bulk centers. These warehouses receive the products in large quantities from suppliers, and after that they will distribute them to the different locations in manageable quantities. Next is cross-dock centers. What is that cross-dock center? Which just-in-time technology in supply chain. It requires the moving goods quickly through the supply chain. Here, it requires items which are already labeled and ready for onward delivery. And these items are identified and consolidated with other deliveries ready to dispatch, and it reduces the time of item to keep in warehouse. Cross-dock products are perishable products which need to move quickly through the supply chain. So here, another thing is sortation centers. It is mainly used in distribution items such as letters, parcel, and pallet. Items are collected from all parts of country and then delivered to the sortation centers, where these items are sorted by zip code, postal code, and delivered to their respective areas for onward delivery. So here in sortation center, what happens? It is basically used in distribution of the items like your letters, parcel, pallets. So these are the collected from all parts of the country. Then it will be delivered to the sortation centers, where these items are sorted by any code, zip code, postal code, or delivered to their respective areas for onward delivery. Another is fulfillment center. These warehouses mainly used for e-retailing customers, and these are designed to store picking for home delivery orders. See, so at last we can say public sector warehousing. These are operated by third-party logistics providers. In public sector warehousing, it will be operated by third-party logistics providers. And services of these warehouses can be used by single user or can be shared by multiple users, or public warehouses where more than one customer use the resources and accommodated under the same roof. It is suited for companies dealing in same product, companies with the same customer, companies needing same environmental conditions and services. So what happens here? There are the different, I am again repeating the operation types of warehouse operations. One is, I am just briefly discussing the types of warehousing operation. Already we have discussed. One is your raw material storage, another is your intermediate, postponement, customization, or sub-assembly facilities are there. Next is there is a finished goods storage facilities, consolidation center, and transit warehouses are there, then transshipment or break bulk centers, cross dock centers, and sortation centers, fulfillment of the centers. These are the different centers are there. After that, public sector warehousing. So all these operation types of warehouse operation we have discussed. Now we'll discuss the functions of warehouse. Naturally, already we have discussed the different types of operation, warehouse cost, what is the meaning of warehouse, what is the importance of warehouse. Let us know what are the different functions of the warehouse. If you can discuss about the functions, basically it is one is your economic function. In economic function, we can say this is a category of functions. It is directly related to the logistical cost. That means the trade-off between various elements of the logistical costs. For example, generally the addition of one more distribution warehouse result into an increase in the warehousing and inventory cost. But there may be a decrease in the overall logistic cost due to reduction in the transportation cost and increase in the customer service level, it resulting into an increase in the volume of sales. In such cases, such a step will be justifiable. The economic functions of warehousing are like, what are the economic functions? One is consolidation. In economic function, the consolidation means a warehouse receives and consolidates the materials or goods from different production plants and then dispatches the same to a particular customer on a single transportation shipment. The primary benefit of consolidation is that it combines the logistical flow of several small shipments to a specific market area. So, in break bulk, this function refers to the transshipment of the goods from the production plant in bulk quantity by low rate volume shipment to the distribution warehouse, and then it will be reshipment in small quantities to different customers. The major benefit of this function is the reduction in the transportation cost due to major distance that are covered by low rate transportation modes. For an example, in industries dealing with cement, fertilizer, coal, etc., follows this type of function. Okay. Then another is stock peeling. The next economic function of warehousing is the seasonal storage of goods to select the business for the seasonal storage. For an example, agricultural products are produced during a specific time. It is not all the time throughout a year, but consumed throughout the year. Or woolen garments are basically manufactured in summer and stocked to meet the demand of the winter. So here it occurs in by stock peeling. Another is value added services. The certain value added services are also provided by the warehouse, such as packaging and labeling. And in some cases, basic products are produced and shipped to warehouses and finally distributed to the different customers in different packages and labels. There are two major benefits of value added services of the warehouse. One is it minimizes the risk because final packaging is not completed till the order for specific package and label is received. The second, the inventory requirement is reduced by way of keeping basic product without packaging and labeling. So here, after that economic function, let us know the operational functions. What is that? Operational functions. Here in operational functions, one is receiving. Receiving goods is a crucial process within the warehouse, or handling of the goods within the warehouse is an important process. To ensure that right product in the right quantity has been received in the right condition is the important or main responsibility of the warehouse. So receiving part is a very crucial process. Another is pre-receipt. Some areas should be discussed prior to the order being placed, such as the type of the product, size of cartons, palletized or non-palletized delivery of product description, barcode, mode of transport, delivery quantity, and frequency of the delivery. So, in the operational functions, one part we have discussed, that is receiving, another is pre-receipt. Next is put away. It is act of placing items in storage. In many warehouse, operators decide in advance product location, where to place the goods. And it includes some of the information, such as what is the size, what is the weight, what is the height of all palletized goods. Then current order data is required, weight capacity of ranking, information of the fast and slow moving goods. All these things are required for the put away or functions or operations. Another is storage. It is an inbound goods are moved directly to the storage area or dispatched area if goods are cross-docked. The form of storage depends on the items. For an example, items of higher value require special storage conditions. It also depends on size and quantity of items in inventory. Another is order management. In order management, it includes the order receiving, processing, and filling by dispatching of goods to the customers. In this process, items are moved from storage to the dispatch area to meet the demand. So it is the costliest activity within the warehouse. And in after that, in the order management, another is packaging. After picking, packaging has been done. After picking, packaging has been done. So it is an optional activity. Items are boxed for more convenient use, basically in packaging. Next is sortation and accumulation. Sortation or accumulation or an accumulation. Sortation of the picking orders into individual orders and accumulation of distributed items into orders must be done when there is more than one type of items in any order. Am I repeat? So, sortation of picking orders into individual orders and accumulation of the distributed items into orders must be done when there is more than one type of items in any order. Checking. It includes the checking product and packaging for completeness to load the items. Here, what happens after that? Let us know about the different layout planning of warehousing. What are the different layout planning of warehousing? Initially, there were more than 50 factors that were important for designing a warehouse layout. And due to this intensive list, each factor studied individually by the experts. And it has been considered that movement frequency, similarity size, and attribute are four major factors. So, one is movement frequency. The frequency or demand of items is one of the most important factors for designing the layout. And frequency of items defines the movement and storage of these items in storage area of a warehouse. So this based on the movement items are divided into three categories. Among them, some are fast movers, some are medium movers, some are slow movers, and some are very slow movers. So as per these categories, what happens? The fast mover items basically comprise 10 to 15% of the total item. Medium movers and slow movers comprise 25 to 40% of the total items. And very slow movers comprise 0 to 5%. So accordingly, the planning will be made. And then comes to similarity point. Basically, the items stored in a warehouse should be stored on the basis of similarity. Warehouse layout design based on similarity is good for satisfying quick inventory and satisfies quick issues. Traditionally, storage by size method also has been used in warehousing. To overcome this issue, items are stored in the given area based on similarity. For an example, the entire engine parts is an automotive outfit are put at one location. Similarly, all the transmission parts are stored at other location. So as per the similarity, it will be designed or it will be kept and the layout will be designed. After that, size is also another factor. Warehouse layout planning based on the size of the items to be stored in also has been considered in industry. So, a layout planner must have to consider the size of the items and the size created by a group of same items. We must have a variety of size positions to accommodate all different size items and different volumes in the storage layout. So to store small size items, small lot items, self boxes are very essential and valuable. So size also another important factor in the design layout design. So what are the factors? One is movement frequency, second is similarity, third is size. These things will be considered. Another is attribute. Attribute or characteristics. It is a factor which does not occur frequently in an average warehouse. So we cannot store gasoline, electronics parts, meats, milk, other perishable and inflammable items all together in one location. We cannot store because there are some inflammable items are there. Every product attribute is not same. We cannot treat all this in the layout design also. And then comes to what are the different accessories in the warehousing. What are the accessories? One is bins. What do you mean by bin? Store variety of small items. Bins of different shapes and size are used. It is used to store variety of small items. Another is shelves. To store large items or on palletized loads, steel or wooden shelving is used. Steel shelving is simply metal sheet that has been fastened to upright the post. And the post usually provide for flexibility in adjusting the shelf height and the spaces between the shelves. Here, another we can say another accessory is stacking. The unit loads on pallets or in boxes, bags, or sacks can be stacked on top of each other to better utilize vertical spaces. So here, three accessories we have discussed. One is bins, shelves, and stacking. And after that, another accessory, conveyor storage. These are series of roller or skate wheel conveyors placed one above the other in adjacent stacks and slanted from input to output. The stored items should contain in boxes. Basically, it will contain in boxes. So another is yard storage. To store bulk items such as coal, sand, pulp wood, scrap metal. The yard storage also reduces the construction cost of enclosed warehouse. So, in this type, let us know what is the role of warehouse manager. What is the role of warehouse manager? We can say the role of a warehouse manager has a vital in the international logistics and warehousing management. We can say one of the among role is inventory management. We are now categorizing the role into different categories, like one is your inventory management. So in this inventory management, what is the job or role of a warehouse manager? It will keep, or he will keep the track of what is coming in and what is going out. Another role is it makes sure or it ensures there is enough stock but not too much. Enough stock is good, but too much stock is not good. So warehouse manager should have a proactive role to maintain that inventory. Second role, about the staff management. Here in staff management, what happens? The warehouse manager must have to hire, train, and supervise the warehouse workers. It will hire the different workers and train them also. Unless and until we will give the training facilities to them, how they can maintain, how they can manage the warehouse. And also after that, warehouse manager must have to supervise to the warehouse workers. Create the work schedule. The warehouse manager must have to create the work schedule. That means when to do, what to do, how to do. These are the process, and ensure everyone follows the safety rules. Safety is one of the important and challenging task for all these persons who are working in the warehouse or not. So here in staff management role, warehouse manager will actively, proactively must have to follow these guidelines. And next role we can say about the logistic coordination. The warehouse manager must have to coordinate for organizing the movement of the goods. That means how it will be received, how it will be stored, and how it will be shipped. In all these parameters, there must be a tremendous role of a warehouse manager is required. Another is there is must be a closely work with the suppliers. Warehouse manager must have to work closely with the suppliers, transporters, and customers. Unless and until you will just make a mechanical way relationship, if you will not work closely with the suppliers or with the peers or the transporters and customers, it is a very difficult task. It is a very challenging. It will be very alarming for the warehouse manager. So to fulfill the objective of the warehouse manager, this coordination must have to maintain it by closely work with the suppliers. Then another role is quality control. You know, to survive in a competitive world, to have a exist in the market, we have to maintain some qualities. So warehouse manager must have to be serious, cautious about the quality control. What happens happens in this quality control point? The warehouse manager must have to inspect the goods for damage, and also it ensure items are stored properly to maintain the quality. If you are not stored properly, the quality may be deteriorated. So for this, the warehouse manager must have to be aware how to control, how to maintain the quality. Next role is safety and compliance. In safety, the warehouse manager must have to make sure the warehouse follows all safety and legal regulations. Regularly, the conduct of safety drills and inspections is required. And another is your reporting and documentation. Maintain the accurate records. The warehouse manager must ensure to maintain the accurate records, inventory reports, shipment logs, etc. Unless until you maintain the record, it is very difficult. It is not possible to manage the warehouse. So in that use of warehouse management system, or we can say WMS, warehouse management system, the real-time tracking is required. Another role is cost control. You know, every organization's objective is to how to control the cost. If you cannot control the cost, your profit will be minimized. So to maximize the profit, we have to control our cost. So optimize the space, labor, and equipment used to reduce the cost. And what happen? It will also prevent the losses from damage, theft, or mismanagement. So these are the some of the roles of a warehouse managers. After that, let us discuss what are the different advantages of the warehousing. Already we have discussed so many things like introduction, types of warehouse, functions of warehouse, different advantages of the and difference between centralized and decentralized warehouse, different functions of warehouse. Now let us know what are the advantages of the warehousing. If there will be no warehouse, what will be the problem? That is the advantage. So one is it provides the safety to the goods and prevent their wastage. It ensures the safety of the goods, and also it prevent or protect their wastage. Second advantage is seasonal commodities can be provided throughout the year in the market from warehouse. You know, you can take the example of any vegetables. Do you think all the vegetables are produced throughout the year? No. It is produced for a small period of time, but it will be available throughout the year. How it is possible? By the help of warehouse. So different seasonal products or commodities we can get throughout the year by the help of warehouse. Next comes to the warehousing is very useful for small businessmen who cannot afford their own large area to store their finished goods. For a small businessman, it is impossible. It is very difficult to maintain its own space for its finished goods. So what they will do, they store their goods in warehouse on some rent basis. Another advantage, it also creates employment. Definitely, a warehouse is a source of income for the person who work on it. Different laborers are working, different managers are working, different supervisors are working, warehouse managers are working. So it also creates employment. Next is it reduces the risk of loss of goods and their wastage. Since in warehousing goods are in regular monitoring, as it has been regularly monitored, the risk of loss of goods and their wastage also reduces. Next is it also reduces the cost of transportation since warehouses are located near to the highways, railway stations, seaports, and airports. Already we have discussed this in before. That means in the introduction part we also discussed the location point. As it is situated or located in the near the highways, railway stations, seaports, and airports. It also reduces the cost of transportation. So these are the different advantages of the warehousing. Then comes to the last portion of this unit, that is cross docking. So in cross docking, what does it mean? It refers to the transfer of incoming shipments directly to outgoing vehicles without storing them in between. Basically, this practice can facilitate in the fulfillment of several goals, such as the consolidation of the shipments, a shorter delivery lead time, and the reduction of costs. And here, the role of cross-docking in many industries, like in the retail firms and less than truckload or LTL logistics provider industry, is increasing nowadays as a part of logistics strategy. So, under this cross-docking system, the more focus is on the consolidation of the shipments to achieve economies in transportation of costs, as products are received from a supplier or manufacturer for several and destinations, and consolidating this product with other suppliers' product for common final delivery destinations. And here we can say it is a logistic process. The cross-docking, it is a logistic process where goods are directly transferred from incoming trucks to outgoing trucks with the little or no storage time in between. So here the question how it works. It products arrive at the warehouse, and immediately after arriving at the warehouse, they are immediately sorted and loaded onto another vehicle for delivery. Here there is no long-term storing. It just receives and quick transfer occurs. Then what is its advantage? As you know, it after receiving immediately it will be sorted and loaded. It is reduces the storage cost, and delivery time is becomes speed up. Here there is a lower risk of inventory holding. That means the damage or loss is very low. But what are the disadvantages? Here in cross-docking, there needs very good coordination and timing. Without proper coordination and timing, it is not properly works. And basically, this cross-docking is not suitable for all types of products. It is meant for a specific product. It will not work best for the fast-moving goods. That means your fast-moving consumer goods, it will not work properly. So this is about your cross-docking. And after that, let us discuss for better understanding very small case. I am now showing to all of you. First case is about overstocking problem. Here, the scenario I am just telling, it is a retail company's centralized warehouse kept overstocking slow-moving items, which leads to high storage cost and wastage. What will be the solution? Already I have written the solution, but please analyze and think. Here in this particular scenario, the solution may be the implemented a warehouse management system, already what we have discussed, WMS, to track the real-time inventory. And another is you have to use the ABC analysis. What is that ABC analysis? That means this analysis is meant for the ranking inventory by the importance. What are the A category, what are the B category, what are the C categories, to stock more of fast-moving goods and less of the slow movers. Then second case is about the slow order fulfillment. Here the scenario is it is an e-commerce brand faced delays in order fulfillment because all products were shipped from one warehouse far from key markets. So for this scenario, the solution may be we have opened a decentralized mini warehouses near the major cities, and we have to use the zone picking. That means we have to pick in different zones that will be divided in the warehouse into the different zones to speed up the order picking. Are you just getting the slow order fulfillment? Next case is about the damaged goods during the storage. Here in this particular scenario, it is about a food company. They had frequent spoilage because perishable goods weren't stored properly in the warehouse. They what? maybe the solution of this particular situation or solution problem, we have to install a cold storage units for the temperature sensitive products, because all products are not kept in a same temperature. There is a trained staff on proper handling and rotated stock based in FIFO. What do you mean by FIFO? Fast in, fast out. That will be, it is a one type of maybe the solution for this particular scenario. Then another case is high labor cost. Here the scenario is a warehousing dealing, the electronic was spending too much on manual labor for inventory, counting and picking. So what will be the solution? Here we can say we have to introduce the automation. That means conveyor belts, barcode scanners, and picking the robots. These are the different solutions to handle this situation. And after implementing, this will be reduced the labor cost by 30% and improve the packing accuracy. The last is what is the inefficient cross-docking. About the inefficient cross-docking. Here the scenario is it is a logistic company tried cross-docking but failed because of trucks were arriving late. Because already we have discussed in this chapter. So it is leads to a bottlenecks. What will be the solution? We have to improve the scheduling software and implement the real-time tracking system for incoming the shipments. So these are the different cases about for a better understanding of this chapter. This is about the unit 10. I hope all of you must have understood this. Thank you. Thank you all.